2015 Suzuki GSX, S750 Second Ride Review. Back in October, Evans Brassfield penned a preview of Suzuki's then forthcoming GSX, S750. The middleweight naked class just got a lot more interesting, read his kindly subheading. At the beginning of this month, March, Suzuki hosted a press ride of the GSX, S750 in some very non-optimal weather conditions in Austin, Texas. With the first ride review a literal washout, we withheld reporting our typical evaluation of, and scorecard for, the GSX until we could perform an honest shakedown. Well, that day has arrived, and we can honestly report that Suzuki's new naked performs almost flawlessly in the most underwhelming way possible. There's some minor driveline lash, the suspension is a compromise between comfort and handling with the fork exhibiting some harshness when compressing rapidly, and the seat-to-foot peg ratio becomes tighter as you inch past 5 foot, 9 inches. Otherwise, the GSX goes about the business of being a competent motorcycle with the mechanical astuteness and uninspired confidence often associated with Japanese UJMs. And therein lies the rub. At $7,999 the GSX-S is a nicely styled, comparably priced 750 cubic centimeters wallflower. In the words of one of our readers from the comments section of the first ride review, not a bad looking or expensive machine, but it's just not a great value or even a novelty like the Yamahas. And by novelty, we're assuming Reed is suggesting the inline triple and parallel twin with cross-plane concept engine architecture of the FZ09 and FZ07, respectively. The retuned GSX, R750mm features revised chem profiles and timing, as well as reshaped intake and exhaust tracks to give the naked bike more low and mid-range power. In true Suzuki fashion, the transmission shifts smooth as butter. Suzuki has identified Yamaha's FZ09 as a competitor for the GSX, S750, and its engine is clearly more potent and exciting than the Suzuki's. The FZ's combination of more power and less weight will be difficult for the GSX to overcome. A comparison test is in the works. The 4/3 shootout. With 96.5 horsepower, 52.5 lb-ft of torque, and weighing 465 pounds fully fueled, the GSX produces less horsepower, 8.1 HP, and torque, 6.8 lb-ft, than the FZ09 while weighing 49 pounds more. For its weight, the GSX-S handles urban riding as well as faster-paced canyon carving with equal ability. With 57.1 inches between contact patches, the GSX is neither exceptionally long nor short. It doesn't flit through traffic or a tight set of S-turns with the agility of a hummingbird, but it's no dodo bird, either. Leaned over, repeatedly arching through a fast, bumpy sweeper for a photo op, the GSX gave no cause for concern as it held a tight line and absorbed the worst of the road imperfections without complaint. The seating position is comfy with foot peg to seat ratio just a little tight for my 5 foot, 11 inch frame, but that keeps cornering clearance acceptable, see image below. The GSX seat is wonderfully supportive and comfortable. Comfort levels for commuting and/or touring duties are first noticed in the rider triangle that features a short reach to the handlebars and enough legroom as to not cramp my 5 foot, 11 inch frame. A little less bend in the knee would be nice, but it's not really a factor for anyone under 6 foot. Seat foam, however, is dynamite, perfectly blending comfort and support. You'll notice an occasional high-frequency buzz from the inline 4 but nothing to really complain about. Power delivery and EFI tuning are electric motor-like, with no undue abruptness. Clutch pull is on the stiff side, but the transmission shifts so smoothly there's not much use for the clutch when upshifting. So far, our test unit has delivered 37.7 mpg. No apparent reason for the brakes being as weak as they are. Fork is of the inverted variety, and it keeps the front end in order even when the pace gets hot. The front brakes on the GSX are notably underpowered for a bike with this much sporting potential. It takes a strong pull on the front brake lever to produce quick deceleration. This can probably be easily and affordably rectified with the purchase of some up-spec aftermarket brake pads, but as is, Ducati's Scrambler icon with the single front disc exhibited more impressive stopping performance in our Scrambler Slam shootout than do the dual front brakes on this Suzuki. The GSX handles well enough to invite peg scraping, and has enough cornering clearance to keep things exciting. The true test for the GSX is the upcoming shootout with its FZ09 Nemesis and a couple others. We know the Suzuki suffers a performance disadvantage to the Yamaha, but the FZ has issues with too soft suspension and unrefined ride modes that kept it from being our pick for 2014 Bike of the Year. So, it's no sure thing the Yamaha's going to win, because we know the Suzuki is better suspended and doesn't suffer the fueling issues of last year's FZ. Updated ECU tuning for 2015 has significantly improved the smoothness of its throttle response. But if you enjoy supporting the underdog, start waving your Suzuki banners.